Dragons are some of the most powerful creatures in Magic, but what if every time one entered, it brought a copy of itself with it? That's exactly what Miirym Sentinel Wyrm does best. And when the dragons start doubling, the whole board gets troubling. Hi everyone, I'm Full Harmonicon and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a crazy strong Temur Dragon commander, maybe even the strongest dragon commander, that gives you a built-in 2-for-1 special. Every dragon that enters the battlefield gets doubled, not cast, entered. It's Miirym Sentinel Wyrm, and if you love huge flying lizards, doubling up on every dragon you play and becoming the arch enemy at the table whether you meant to or not, this deck is for you. Miirym is a 6/6 dragon spirit with flying and ward 2. She costs 6 mana, 3 colorless and Temur colors, green, blue and red. Opponents have to pay an extra 2 mana just to target Miirym. That little bit of protection matters a lot when your entire strategy revolves around keeping her on the battlefield. Miirym has one super strong ability. Whenever another non-token dragon enters the battlefield under your control, you create a token copy of it, except the token isn't legendary if the original was legendary. That means whenever a dragon enters, you get another one for free. You also don't have to worry about the tokens and the legend rule. You can have 2 Atrakas, 2 Cloths, and 2 Lathless. And again, this triggers on entering the battlefield, not casting. That distinction is everything. The plan couldn't be simpler. First, we ramp. Dragons are expensive, and we need to get to 6 mana and beyond as quickly as possible. Then, we drop Miirym, protect her, and start doubling dragons to overwhelm the table. And third, we win by swinging in with a sky full of massive flying lizards. Or, we win through direct damage just from dragons entering the battlefield. Either way, once the engine starts, it's very hard to slow down. Before we get into the dragons, I have to say it. Pan Harmonicon, the channel's namesake. Miirym triggers on ETB. Pan Harmonicon doubles ETB triggers. That means one dragon entering becomes 3 dragons in total. That's not fair, and I love it. Now, onto the dragons themselves. And remember, every one of these comes in twice with Miirym on the board. Thrakus the Butcher. When dragons attack, Thrakus doubles their power. With 2 Thrakus triggers, that's effectively quadrupling power. Combat math becomes absurd very quickly. A tracker, World Render, gives your attacking dragons double strike. Drop a tracker on a populated board and end games. Lathless Dragon Queen makes 5/5 dragon tokens whenever another non-token dragon enters. With Miirym, that's multiple triggers per dragon, and she can pump your entire team. Utvara Hellkite, whenever a dragon attacks, you make a 6/6 dragon, with a board full of doubles that spirals out of control fast. Earthquake Dragon starts at 15 mana, but costs less for each dragon you control. In this deck, it's often cheap, and it just keeps coming back from the graveyard. Twin Flame Tyrant doubles damage you deal to opponents and their creatures. With 2 copies out, the math gets scary. Astral Dragon copies the best artifact or enchantment on the field and turns it into a 3/3 dragon token. Copy a Soul Ring, now you've got 3. With Miirym, maybe 5. That's total value. Savage Ventmaw adds 6 mana when it attacks that doesn't empty. Great for a second main phase dragon. Klauth, Unrivaled Ancient, adds mana equal to the total power of attacking creatures. With double dragons, you're casting half your hand post-combat. Goldspan Dragon makes treasures when it attacks or becomes targeted, and your treasures start adding double. Speaking of treasures, Old Gnawbone makes treasures equal to the damage your creatures deal. This card is absurd. Ganix Astral Hunter makes treasure whenever a dragon enters. This includes Miirym's copies. Ancient Copper Dragon hits someone, you roll a d20, and it makes that many treasures. 2 Copper Dragons connecting, you've just set yourself up for the rest of the game. Dragons don't just attack, they burn things down. Dragon Tempest gives your dragons haste and deals damage whenever one enters equal to the number of dragons you control. With Miirym's doubling, this ends games quickly. Scourge of Valkus, basically a Dragon Tempest on a dragon body that we can copy. Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to a creature's power whenever it enters under your control. Doubling terror is terrifying, and doubling the double triggers? Yes please. Lozan, Dragon's Legacy, deals damage when you cast dragons equal to their mana value. Dragons are expensive. This is big damage. Dracoseth, Maw of Flames, when it attacks, spreads damage across the board. Raffled Red Dragon makes blocking or attacking into you awkward. Your dragons take damage, they deal it back to non-dragons. Thunderbreak Regent punishes opponents for targeting your dragons, a built-in lightning bolt dispenser. Dragons love drawing cards. Corlessa Scale Singer lets you cast dragons off the top of your library. Ureni of the Unwritten digs deep and cheats dragons straight into play, even better with Miirym and Panharmonicon. Ancient Silver Dragon, roll a d20 and draw that many cards. Double it with Miirym and you might draw your entire deck. Dragonborn Champion draws when 5 or more damage is dealt to an opponent. That happens constantly here. Imrith, Desert Doom, rewards you for connecting with another player in combat. Sarkhan Unbroken, draw and ramp, make dragon tokens, or get to his ultimate and dump all your dragons straight onto the battlefield from your deck. Kindred Discovery in any tribal deck touching blue is incredible. Dragons enter or attack, you draw cards for each. Return of the Wild Speaker is burst draw or a finisher pump spell. Garut's Uprising and Temur Ascendancy draw whenever big creatures enter, and dragons are always big. Between direct damage and combat, we have interaction built in, but we also run Balefire Dragon, which clears an opponent's creatures when it connects. Clout's Will is super flexible removal for creatures and artifacts or enchantments. And then we have protection spells like Counterspell, An Offer You Can't Refuse, and Negate to keep Miirym alive. Plus, staples like Beast Within, Chaos Warp, Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, and Nature's Claim. Here are some great dragon-specific mana acceleration. Dragon Speaker Shaman makes dragons cost 2 less. Dragon Lord's Servant makes dragons cost 1 less. Sarkhan, Solar Flame, reduces dragons by 1 and can become a copy of a dragon. Herald's Horn discounts dragons by 1 and sometimes acts as card advantage. Dragon's Horde is a mana rock early and card draw later on. Scaled Nurturer is a dragon mana dork. Orb of Dragonkind is a dragon-specific mana rock and can draw you a dragon later in the game. And of course, the staples: Sol Ring, Arcane Signet, Nature's Law, Farseek, 3 Visits, Cultivate, and Kodoma's Reach. We ramp early so that we can explode later. A few standout lands: Unclaimed Territory and Secluded Courtyard are excellent in any tribal deck. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon fixes mana for dragons and can tutor one later on. Haven of the Spirit Dragon fixes mana and can bring a dragon back from the graveyard. Miirym is crazy powerful. Dragons are already strong once they get going, but when every dragon that enters brings a twin along with it, that's next level synergy. You will become the threat at the table. Opponents will hold up removal just for your commander. But once you untap with Miirym and start chaining dragons together, it becomes very hard to stop. And honestly, that's kind of the dream. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this breakdown, leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe for more synergy-focused commander content. And hey, if you're picking up any of these cards, consider using my TCG Player affiliate link down below. And until next time, may all your dragons be doubled.